We are faced with, I believe, is the greatest moral crisis of our time. That those least responsible for nature's destruction will suffer the greatest consequences.
You may have heard that Harrison Ford says that Donald Trump scares the shit out of you. As a matter of fact, Harrison Ford says that Donald Trump is the worst criminal in the history of the world. So you forget about Pol Pot, Adolf Hitler, Mussolini, Mao. All of these people are saints compared to Donald Trump. And the main reason he said that Donald Trump is one of the worst criminals in history is because he said, first of all, Trump doesn't have any policies. He said he has whims. He said because everything he's predicted in the last 30 years about climate change has come true. Now, who believes that? Do you remember in 2009 when Al Gore and long-faced John Kerry, they said that all the ice was going to be melted? I started laughing. For the last 30 years, I've been marking these climate change nut jobs.
There is a 75% chance that the entire North Polar ice cap during some of the summer months could be completely ice-free within the next 5 to 7 years.
You have sea ice, which is melting at a rate that the Arctic Ocean now increasingly is exposed. In 5 years, scientists predict we will have the first ice-free Arctic summer.
I'm Harrison Ford, doing something I never thought I'd do. Telling people I've never met who I'm voting for and why I think they might do the same. This election, I'm casting my ballot for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz.
Yeah, for the first maybe 2/3 of the movie, we have lots of scientists come on, and they just kind of rip apart the mainstream narrative. There's this whole narrative that CO2 is the climate control knob and that the weather's getting worse. We're experiencing a climate crisis, and none of those things are true. There's no data that backs up any of that stuff. So we just go after those things.
There is no belief that the earth is going to be destroyed by humans. For thousands of years, these idiots have been talking about this, but the people like Al Gore and Barack Obama and John Kerry and Harrison Ford. You know what Harrison Ford kind of reminds me of? Have any of you people ever been to Vermont? If you ever go to Vermont, the men down there, no offense now, it's some good people in Vermont. I'm not saying all people are like this. But when I've noticed the women and the men, there's something distinctly different. They remind me of Harrison Ford because Harrison Ford is like he's never had. Class is always frowning, like he's on Star Trek or something again. But I noticed that all the women kind of favor Bernie Sanders. I don't know what that's about. If you're 60 and older, they favor Bernie Sanders. And I can give you some examples of that. I see it. Yeah. And the men kind of look like Elizabeth Warren, and they all look like they don't have any testosterone. I think they've taken all the testosterone out of the men here. Because you couldn't keep me because this boy, his balls is tucked up in his butt somewhere. I don't know where they at. Now, I can give you examples of the men not having any testosterone. And they walk behind the men walk behind their women like this. And it's almost like the women are telling them, once a year, I let my husband finger me, but he can't touch me. It's like they don't never have intercourse with each other. I'm talking about husband and wives. It don't look like they never get done. It's like, yes, dear, whatever, dear. Harrison Ford reminds me of, is he married, by the way? Because he looks like his wife may do a strap on him, because he's a little bit too angry talking about climate change. What grown-ass man? I don't trust any grown man who's that upset about climate change.
Willing to explain how a climate crisis is the same as an LGBT crisis?
Yeah, so basically what we're talking about is basically whenever society breaks down and whenever things get worse, it's minority groups that are targeted. It's queer rights groups that are targeted. Like during the AIDS crisis, it hit our communities the absolute hardest because they didn't care about us. As these things start to get worse, we're seeing nationalism grow in the UK. We're trying to send, foreign nationals now to Rwanda. We're seeing an increase in racism, we're seeing an increase in homophobia, we're seeing an increase in transphobia, and that's happening alongside the climate crisis. The society, the cogs that hold our society together are starting to fall apart. The climate crisis, the cost of living crisis, the energy crisis, all rolling into one, and that never ends well for anyone who's not a straight, cis, white male.
Stop giving power to people who don't believe in science, or worse than that, pretend they don't believe in science for their own self-interest. They know who they are. We know who they are.
There is no truth to the idea that the Earth is warmer now than it has been in the past. It's a lie. There is no truth that CO2 is higher than it should be. That is a lie. There's no such thing as a climate emergency happening on this planet now. There's no evidence of one.
He's a rich, filthy elitist talking about climate change. What the hell is he talking about? I bet you any kind of money he rides on private jets. I bet he got a beach house. All these elite liberals the same way. They like they got a stick stuck up their asses, most of them. And they walk around frowning all the damn time. Why are you so unhappy?
Nothing I dislike more than the politician that sits there and lies to you. And we all just sit there rolling our eyes going, give me a break.
Isn't it true you have a science degree from Yale?
Bachelor of Arts degree.
Is it a political science degree?
Yes, political science.
So how do you get a Bachelor of Arts in a science?
Well, it's liberal arts education and degree. It's a bachelor.
Nothing I dislike more than the politician that sits there and lies to you.
Okay, so it's not really science. So I think it's somewhat appropriate that somebody with a pseudoscience degree is here pushing pseudoscience in front of our committee.
Nothing I dislike more than the politician that sits there and lies to you.
Okay, let's get back to the science of it. Let me ask you this. What's the consensus on parts per million of CO2 in the atmosphere?
About 406 today.
Okay, 406. Are you aware?
350 being the level that scientists have said is dangerous.
Well, certainly climate change will make entire ecosystems die off. It'll make parts of the world, impossible to live in. And so the actual economic and death toll from climate change will be much, much, much greater than what we have with this pandemic.
But he's changing his tune now. He's actually rejecting the doomsday narrative in a new memo saying, quote, although climate change will have serious consequences, particularly for people in the poorest countries, it will not lead to humanity's demise. People will be able to live and thrive in most places on Earth for the foreseeable future.
They live in beautiful places, but they seem so damn unhappy. Harrison Ford, he's elite from Hollywood, always acting upset like Al Gore. I'm glad Chip Gore left. Because he's a lunatic. He sits around and whines about climate change while living in a 10,000 square foot home. You're destroying the earth right there, clown. But Harrison Ford wants you to believe that Donald Trump is the most dangerous criminal has ever existed because he doesn't believe in climate change. Only a damn thing will believe in climate change. You're not going to get me to recycle or anything else. I've been telling these dumb jackasses for years, for the last 30 years, that climate change is a bunch of bullshit. Everybody knows it's bullshit. And we know that all the ones who's talking about it has beach houses. They ride around in private jets. If I really believe that the earth is going to be destroyed, you think I'd go buy a house by the beach? And another thing, the insurance company would not be insuring you. Because when the hurricanes started happening in Florida, they stopped giving insurance because the hurricane was real. But they noticed that the insurance company would keep giving you insurance on homes that they're going to be destroyed in a couple of years because all the ice will be melted. You're going to be covered in water. doesn't even make any damn sense.
Are you aware that since mammals have walked the planet, the average has been over 1,000 parts per million?
A recent crisis of the month had to do with global warming. An ozone hole is opening up over the United States, we were told.
But I worry about Europe. I love Europe. I love the people of Europe. And I hate to see it being devastated by energy and immigration. This double-tailed monster destroys everything in its wake, and they cannot let that happen any longer. You're doing it because you want to be nice. You want to be politically correct, and you're destroying your heritage. They must take control strongly and immediately of the unmitigated immigration disaster and the fake energy catastrophe before it's too late. The carbon footprint is a hoax made up by people with evil intentions, and they're heading down a path of total destruction. You know, the carbon footprint, it was a big, big thing a few years ago. I remember hearing about the carbon footprint. And then President Obama would get into Air Force One, a massive Boeing 747, and not a new one, an old one with old engines that spew everything into the atmosphere. He'd talk about the carbon footprint, we must do so. Then he'd get in and he'd fly from Washington to Hawaii to play a round of golf. And then he'd get...
On the contrary, destroying chlorine around the polar vortex has been declining since January.